Hey everybody, Jem Schofield of the C47, and welcome to these special videos where I focus on the ZEISS Batis family of lenses. If you have not yet done so, please check out the overview video where I give you some key features, the technical specs, and also unique features of this family of lenses. Now in this particular video, it's all about application. We're going to be taking out the 18, the 25, the 40, the 85, and the 135 Batis lenses. We're going to be shooting handheld. We're going to be shooting with shoulder mounted rigs. We're going to be shooting with gimbals and also drones. So let's get started. Before we take these lenses out into the real world, and I can show you how each of these 5 focal lengths can be used in production, I just very quickly want to go over some key features of Batis. Let's start with our focal lengths. On the wide end, we have an 18mm. We then have a 25mm. We have the 40mm lens. We have our portrait lens, the 85, and on the telephoto side, we have the 135. And then of course, both the 135 and the 85 have that optical image stabilization, so if you're shooting handheld or up on a shoulder mounted rig, it's great for that application. These are full frame E-mount lenses, which means they can be used with any E-mount camera body that is full frame down to Super 35mm or APS-C. They are weather sealed. They have a quiet and fast AF system, which is really important in today's productions because there are a lot of situations where we want to take advantage of these advanced AF systems, and the Batis family is ideal for that. These lenses are ideally suited for video production and filmmaking. They can resolve to 4K plus resolutions. They're small and lightweight, which makes them ideal for small to no crew production, but also for balancing on things like gimbals and on drone systems. And they have that ZEISS quality in terms of color reproduction, contrast, pop in the midtones, all of those things I'm looking for in image. I've been using ZEISS lenses for over 10 years, and I've been using the Batis lenses since they came out, and now we have 5 lenses in the family that we can use in our productions, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to take the 18, the 25, the 40 close focus, the 85, and the 135 out into the field. I'm going to take you through some of the different applications of how we're using these lenses in production, so let's go. This is the Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum, one of my favorite locations to shoot, and we put the Batis lenses on a full frame A7 series camera here for a variety of shots. And then we put it onto a gimbal. Here we're shooting with the 85 at 60p, and then conforming to 24, which I think looks fantastic. This combination works really, really well. And then again, on the gimbal system, we actually swapped out to the 40mm, and we're shooting in an f2, but now at 24 frames per second. And I'm really, really loving this particular lens. Then we went inside the Spruce Goose to test out the clear image zoom feature. And here we're on the 25mm lens and going to a 1.8x crop. And then we put the 135mm Batis on there. And here you can see the clear image zoom allowing us to change our composition. Then we moved back to the 85 and we're testing it in low light and also looking at those out of focus characteristics of the lens on a gimbal system. After the Evergreen shoot, the crew moved down to Nevada and we shot in a couple of different locations, and the first one that we scouted was the Nelson Ghost Town, which is really cool. First shot on the Ronin S with the 25mm lens. Unfortunately, the light was a little flat that day, but we wanted to put it through its paces anyway. And then swapping over to the 40mm, again, really probably my favorite focal length on a full frame bodied camera. And then James switching over and doing some handheld and using the AF, in fact the touch AF on the camera system. And then switching the camera over to close focus and going in for some nice tight shots at different apertures, which I was very, very happy with. And even decided to combine the close focus with clear image zoom so we could get in even tighter with our shots. And then lastly, the 135, again, just to tighten up and get the right composition on the shot, so we're using the clear image zoom there. Then we moved to Desert Rock Sports, which is where we met with our guides, Matt and Kat, and then getting the Batis lenses up on a shoulder-mounted rig. This is a 135, which has built-in optical image stabilization, and also the 85, which also has OIS. And then James started to get some shots of both Matt and Kat interacting with each other, both at 24 and also at 60, so we could get some slow motion shots. And this again is the 135, which has that really beautiful separation, and we're shooting that at an f2.8 in these particular shots. And then we moved over to Red Rock Canyon Conservation Center and started to get some establishing shots of our guides. This is the 25mm Batis, which is great for these types of shots. And here's the 40, again shooting at 60p. Then we moved over to our first location that we wanted to do some drone footage with. Our crew lensed that up with the 18mm Batis lens. Once we got that bird up in the air, we started to shoot some footage with our guides heading to their climbing destination. So you can see here, there's that 18. We're flying very low to the ground, also here with this 40mm shot, and also with the 85, because we really wanted to feel them in the foreground with all of that beautiful stuff going on in the background in terms of those mountain ranges. And then it was time to move to the next location where they were going to climb. So we got some handheld shots and some gimbal shots on the 25, which was great because James could be close to them and really feel the rest of the space. And then again, back up onto that drone for that 18mm, which really gives us scope of space in Red Rock. And now we're up on that 85 again, which is creating that nice separation, nice parallax shots that allow you to have that dynamic of foreground and background elements. And this, again, became one of my favorite lenses to use up on the drone, and so easy to balance because it's so lightweight. We could get it onto that drone system and up in the air very, very quickly. Then we took that 85 and got it back up onto our Super 35mm sensor camera. And here we have James, and he's shooting some slow motion stuff with Matt, the obligatory chalk on the hands shots for the climber. And then back to drone time. And we've got the crew lensing up for our next series of shots. And this is where our climbers are going to be heading to their final climbing destination. We are closed down quite a bit here, but we're doing that because we really want to feel the entire space where we're shooting. It's not about necessarily creating separation here. And then we switch over to the 85 to get some closer shots, but still keep that distance away from our climbers, both for safety and also so it's not a distraction to them when they are climbing. And then after that, we decided to get some shots from the ground. And then it was time to balance the 135, which with a lot of 135 lenses can be very tricky, but because these are so small and lightweight, it was easy to balance. And then we got that drone up at a safe distance directly above our climbers so we could get some dynamic shots from above. And it worked out really, really well for these shots. And being able to fly a lens of that focal length was really great. And then at the end of the day, as things were winding down, we had Kat take that camera. She's using the little Cameo grip here with the full frame mirrorless, and she's shooting with the 40mm Batis lens. And then she's also using the touch focus feature to use the AF of the lens and the AF system of the camera body. And then as Matt and Kat were getting ready for the hike out, we got the drone back up in the air and started to get some other shots of Red Rock Canyon Conservation Center. Here we have the 25mm in the area that our guides were climbing. And then to end off the day before we all headed out, we put the 135 up on the drone for this final shot of the sun going down behind the mountains. There you have it. That is the lens application video for the ZEISS Batis family of lenses, and I hope this video has given you insight into the many ways you can use the lenses in your productions. Thanks for watching.